Ladies and gentlemen, good morning. You are watching AMS Live. My name is Boy and we are standing at the Polderbaan. It is Friday, September 6th, 2024. Lovely day. KVK. No clouds. Well, hardly any clouds in the sky. Wind still blowing from the northeast-ish. 070 degrees, 11 knots. 21 degrees Celsius already. Just above 70 degrees Fahrenheit. Apologies for being a few minutes late. Officer Rudolph was back from his vacation, drove past on the cycling path and we struck up a conversation. Did a little catching up. In the meantime, parallel departures to the north taking place from Polderbaan and Center, with Aer Lingus going to Cork, making its way over to the runway threshold as we speak. And we can also see a KLM 737-900 to Copenhagen. This is Shamrock Flight 841 to Cork. It's an A320, 18 years old, first flight October 2005. I thought I felt a wire. That's the remote. Let me reroute that. Was a little bit in the way of grabbing the remote itself. Cable management. That should be better. So, big picture wise, well no, not big picture wise. First, water inspection, duckies over here, quite a few. A few more over there as well. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 perhaps? KLM flight 1269 to Copenhagen. 737-900. Gary Grebe also here, Mother Ducker. Still not happy with the way the remote control cable is routed. Let's try that again. That should be better. Good morning everybody who has joined already, hope you're doing well. See that Maria and Marissa and Paul are already present when it comes to the Blue Squad. Good morning all. And all the other viewers who have joined already, welcome to the show. It's that time of year again. This is the manure reservoir for when they are going to drive out the fertilizer over the land. Tractor was already doing some work here as I was setting up and talking with Officer Rudolph. A lot of seagulls over there. Crows too. Quite a colorful field. Not so much because of flowers, but because of different color animals. Good morning, Patrick, Mark, Peter, Rinus, Alex, Patrick, Sven, Andre, Morgan, Arnold, goedemorgen, Bookie Meow, good morning, Designs by Jensen, Carbike Paradise, Mrs. Professor, Sven, Swissport worker, Ricardo. Good morning, goedemorgen, one and all. Good to see you all in such big numbers so early already in the stream. Next airplane to depart and just arrived on the scene over here is a KLM 777-200 to Paramaribo, KLM flight 713. In its wake is a KLM 737-800 which is going to fly to bloody Helsinki. Oh, Steven Seagull just said hi to everybody, I think. At least that's what it sounded like. And the ducks are off. Hey, Lise. Blue skies over there in Belgium, they are very thick clouds. Well, in that case, there's only one solution. Come back to the Netherlands. Leo, goedemorgen. Tijbonger senior, goedemorgen. Zerko, good morning. Love calls, good morning. Dries, goedemorgen. All others who have joined. David, good morning. Maybe you will. Ooh. Challenge accepted. Epic good morning. Goedemorgen. Stefan, goedemorgen. Hey, Arjan says that the A321neo is on its way to Polderban again. Awesome, saw it yesterday as well. And in fact, Officer Rulov was asking about it. Have you seen the KLM A321neo yet? I said yes, yesterday. Made a separate video of it. This is KLM flight 713. Going to Paramaribo in Suriname. 777-200 19 years old. First flight of this airplane was back in January 2005. Good morning, other Patrick Scholaert. Goedemorgen, thanks for the kind words again. Paul reporting, fine day in North Yorkshire as well. Plenty of sunshine. It's just the Belgians who probably have sinned in the eyes of God and are now punished with a cloudy day. Good morning, Mr. Sanderson. Morning, Mark. Others who've joined in the meantime, good morning. KLM flight 1251 to bloody Helsinki up next. 737-800. PHHSE, 13 years old, first flight May 2011. Says the guy who gave God the finger indeed. Don't you forget it. Whoa, looky here. Deja vu. Going back to Aarhus once again. Obviously the PH8XA. KLM's first A321neo. Happened yesterday too. First up KLM to bloody Helsinki. Deja vu. Yesterday we saw it close by, now we're going to see it at the rotation point. KLM's latest edition, the A321neo, the very first, going back to Aarhus for another training mission as KLM flight 9891. It's the PHAXA, brand new airplane. First flight July 2024. Crayfish fishermen are approaching as well from behind. Still think that the Ita blue looks better. But this also in the sunshine looks pretty sweet. Bon voyage. Hey there Lance, morning mate, good to see you again. Trust all as well. Halil, good morning. Waters. Paul Logan. Monique, good morning. Nielsie asks about how many A321s KLM has ordered. I thought it was a higher number initially, but it turns out I think it was somewhere in the 30, 35 or so. Still a substantial number. Initially I thought it was going to be a 3-digit number, but I was wrong in that. This is KLM flight 605 to San Francisco. 78710. Lining up right now is American, which I think is going to fly back to the United States of America. To Dallas, in fact. Flight 221, 7878 Dreamliner, 9 years old, November 807 Alpha Alpha. Ricardo asks, what do you think about the new Airbus A321neo of KLM? It looks good, I think. It's a bit quiet, but it definitely is a nice looking airplane. Little asymmetric retraction of the main gear. See that often. It's getting more busy. It's getting more busy. I'm also seeing some flickerings that resemble fire engines. I think those are the fire trucks returning to the station. Meanwhile, Cheaters Lane. 2 candidates, bloody cheats. Air Baltic, KLM. First up, KLM flight 605, 78710 Dreamliner to San Francisco. 2-year-old airplane, first flight June 2022. Got K3 over here, doing the honors of patrolling over here in the morning. Lined up is the next Heavy. Blue Delta A330-200 KLM flight 661 to Houston, Texas, home of the house music. It's the AOA, 19 years old, first flight August 2005. And Strange is in an EasyJet to Manchester. Awesome. That's the next airplane to take off from the threshold by the looks of it. Hey there, the cat. Good morning. Wow. Hans, goedemorgen. All other viewers who've joined in the meantime, good morning. Welcome to the show. Wind just north of east, 70 degrees. Means roughly from over there. It is expected to change later to more south of east, which means headwind for the airplanes if they are landing. So I'm thinking later in the day a runway reversal is going to happen. For now, for the upcoming hours, the wind is still expected to be more from the north than from the south of east, if you're still following, which means I think this morning it is going to be outbound traffic somewhere later in the morning at the earliest. I think maybe even later in the afternoon they're going to switch, probably, if the wind is going to switch, which I think it is doing already. The meters earlier in the morning showed wind blowing from 0.60 degrees and now already opening up, widening to 0.70 degrees. So it's going to the east and a southerly direction, so to speak. See that JD is also back in the chat. Good morning, Jörg. If you just joined us, you missed the A321neo of KLM again. It was off to Aarhus again, like it was yesterday. Goedemorgen Henk, Arnold, Thijs, John, all others who have joined in the meantime. Lance says, massive thunderstorms and rain in southwest England, nicer at our lovely luchthaven. It's better than in Belgium, better than in the southwest of England. Uh-oh. How long is that going to stay the way it is? That can be good. Surely in this godforsaken country full of sinners, this cannot last for much longer. Air Baltic A220 to Riga. All the while, parallel departures taking place. Got a KLM 737 just taking off from center. No time to waste. Second line cutter also preceding the Heavy that is waiting at the threshold. Second cheat is an Embraer 175, a rare Embraer going to Stavanger. KLM flight 1175. Spooling up, coming this way. Hey there, A380 fan, good morning. Delta in the background. Landing on 06, as you guys can see. Noise. Nice, noisy bugger. Right, it's time for a triplet of heavies. First heavy hitter is already spooling up, coming this way. KLM flight 741 7879 Dreamliner to Bogota in Colombia. The PHP, 6 years old, first flight August 2018. Hadi Teun, Hadi Hans. Others who've joined in the meantime. And Jay, good morning. Flexy flex. Morning, David, who is tuning in from South Orange County. 100 degrees today. Oh, well, they'll be a bit cooler over here. I think today's expected highs are also going in the high 20s C, so that would also be somewhere approaching the 90 F. Yeah, still in the 80s though, high 80s. Not as warm as in your part of the world. KLM flight 601 going to LAX 78710 Dreamliner PHBKM. 1-year-old airplane, first flight May 2023. Has it been dipping its nose in blow? I think it has. Well, it's a long flight. Don't want to fall asleep during the flight. This helps. Nice combo shot there with K3. No, the cat not going to Colombia. You'd think so, wouldn't you? But what up, Fidel? Hands are off the camera. Hovering perfectly still, or at least the head is perfectly still. So amazing to see. Going to St. Maarten, KLM flight 787, A330-200, 17 years old, the PHAOF, P-H-A-O-F. Hadi Gerrit, hey there Jane, good morning. Hope all is well with all of you. KLM flight 655 is ready to depart, 777-200 Going to Minneapolis and Minnesota. Soda. 19-year-old airplane, first flight September 2004. Now 2 narrow bodies before going back to another heavy hitter. KLM E2 Embraer 195 lined up, ready to go to Manchester. KLM flight 1031. Also a massive big thank you to Malky for your continued support, celebrating 14 months of membership today. And Malky writes, keep up the great work, boy. I will definitely do my best to do so, Malky. Thank you so much for your kind words and for all the support. 14 months of membership. Hope all is still good in the lounge, and do let me know if something isn't to your liking anymore. Let me see what I can do about it. Thank you so much for your continued support, Malky. See that Evan is also back in the chat. Evan says we don't need more cocaine here in LA. Well, you can always bring the excess over to the Netherlands. Netherlands and Belgium, big distributors. There's always demand over here. Gerrit had a lot of tailwind on his way back home yesterday after visiting me yesterday afternoon. Happy to hear that the wind didn't change, and at least you did get to profit of the wind that was constantly blowing quite fiercely yesterday. E2 Embraer to Manchester. Oh, hey! Rugby Aer Lingus special livery cheating? So Irish rugby players are cheaters. Huh. Here I was thinking that rugby was a gentleman's sport where fair play and respect for both the opponent and the referee were very high in standing. It turns out, like any competitive athletes, they will cheat just as happily as any other sport. Athlete, I should say. Bloody cheats. Expose them today. Air Baltic, Ballin and Tallinn. A380-300 coming this way. Second of the show. The airplane 2 years old, first flight May 2022. Wind on the scale of chimney smoke. Next up, the Cheaters, Irish rugby team, taking Cheaters Lane. One of the two Irish rugby team special liveries. This one is the latest. A320 Shamrock 603 to Dublin. Let's quickly turn back the camera. We have a 777-300 to Lima taking off shortly. KLM flight 743. Not a lot of wake turbulence that needs to dissipate before this airplane will get the green light from ATC. Just enough time to say a big thank you to Hank for your super chat, for your kind words and your support. Thank you so much, Hank. We'll continue to do my best to give you good live streams with good camera work. KLM flight 743 to Lima, 777-300. 3-year-old airplane, the PHB VW. First flight January 2021. Good to see Stacy back and T-Mac back and Kevin. Good morning. Ryanair to Dublin lined up. Wake turbulence of the preceding heavy first has to dissipate. Gives me a moment to go back to the laptop and say a massive big thank you to the cat who just now gifted 5 memberships. Thank you so much for that, the cat. You really shouldn't have, but you did it anyway. Hope that the recipients will say thank you for it. Welcome to the Aurora Skyline's new members. Don't forget to say thank you to the cat for your gifted membership, and don't forget to use those custom emojis that are now at your disposal for a month. Thanks once again, the cat. Welcome new members. This is Ryanair flight 421 to Dublin, 737-800. 14-year-old airplane. We'll get clearance as soon as the wake turbulence of the preceding heavy has dissipated sufficiently. In the meantime, another heavy is taking off from center. Let's have a quick look. That would be a KLM 777-300 by the looks of it. Pinch, pinch, pinch. Yep. Going to Cape Town, South Africa, KLM flight 597. Meantime, Ryanair has been given clearance and is also coming this way. Ryanair to Dublin. Near bird strike. Nah. Marissa says, now I get why the Aer Lingus took Cheaters Lane. It's in a race to Dublin with Ryanair. You may be right with that. Absolutely. It's time for another Delta Heavy, an A380 going to Minneapolis, Minnesota. Flight 161, 17-year-old airplane, first flight July 2007. And also Evan, thank you so much for your super sticker. Loudly crying face. Don't cry for me, Argentina. Don't cry for us, Evan. Wipe away your tears. Turn that frown upside down. Thank you so much for your support, Evan. Delta Airlines flight 161 to Minneapolis, Minnesota. Up next, coming this way. Right, SAS CRJ, KLM 737-700. These are the next two airplanes that are coming this way. Sassy Sass going to the threshold, as is the 737 by the looks of it. Pilot Sander also having arrived over here. Showtime. Hey Richard, goedemorgen. The Swedish airplane channel. I thought hairplane. Good morning. And good morning all others who have joined in the meantime. SAS flight 552 to Copenhagen. CRJ 900 long range. EI FPS. How many FPS? All of them. 7 years old. First flight August 2017. Coming this way. KLM Embraer 192 London City is approaching Cheaters Lane. Bloody cheats. Peter PDK also back in the chat. Good morning mate. Hope all is well. Now, Epic Air asks if there's a possibility for a Polderbaan emoji. And thank you for your super chat there, mate. But I really don't know how or why I would do such an emoji. First of all, how, and second of all, why. No, I think there are other emojis that would probably be more fun to use than the Polderbaan emoji. And if we want new emojis, it'll have to be at the cost of sacrificing old emojis, because we still don't have enough members for new slots. In that respect, the channel has been stagnant for months now. So any new emojis would be at the cost of existing emojis, and I'm pretty sure there are other emojis, if we are going to go for new emojis, that would be better suited. Oh! So your motivation was actually a bit narcissistic. Gotcha! Well, just like how I'm calling Evan still Evan, and I'm calling you Epic R still, just like Captain Eddie Boss will always be Captain Eddie Boss if he ever reappears. And we do have Would be more easy if you just change your name back to Epic and you can use the emoji. As Avril Lavigne used to sing, why do you have to go and make things so complicated? Alrighty. Pilot Sander hardly visible. They still haven't cut the grass here. Runway inspection seems to have begun. Not much going on over there at the fire station. Marissa says, looks like BA Flight 430 will be the first plane landing on Polderbaan. Oh, are we going for a reversal already? Nice. Did not know that. Right. Hey, and the JetBlue from arriving from Boston, will it be landing on a different runway? Let's see. Let's have a look on. First of all, let's check out the METAR. Right, so now you see that the wind is also varying a little bit and it's starting to get south of east, which means when it's blowing like this, headwind if you're landing on the runway. Still cavalcade, still 22 degrees C. Oh, I want to copy paste the METAR. There we go. Wind today expected to turn to the south as the day progresses. Current runway use. Ah, there we go. Runway reversal operations. In that case, what can we expect? Let's see. Emirates is expected past 1 o'clock, so looks like it is going to land on center. At least center is used again for arrivals. This is the moment where we have 2 runways. Am I saying that properly or just one? Maybe Saudia is landing on Polderbaan then. Suparna is coming in. That's late, 3:26. This is 1:15. ETA Orange Pride is expected 1:44. Okay. Time to update the ticker. Everything is changing. So departures. What was it? Runway 24 and let's have a look. Eighteen right, 18 center, 18 left. Right. And center is also used for starts, so it's all 3 north-south runways that are being used. Oh, why is that still up there? There we go. So departures, 18 left. Arrivals, 18 right and 18 center. But departures also 18 center later. Interesting. Interesting. patterns that I see on Flight Radar are different from what the LVNL website is saying. Is there any inbound traffic coming to Polderbaan at all, even? I'm wondering. So they're using 09 now to depart. 06 to land. Okay. And Rob says KLM flight 66A seems to go to Polderbaan. Hey, Epic Ur is back. And Lisa has to go. I will see you later. Drive safely. BA flight 430 confirmed for Polderbaan. Is that inbound or outbound, Marissa? Are they still using Polderbaan for inbound? Inbound? Not still, but for inbound. Okay, BA flight 430. Okay, so LVNL and Bezoekbus are full of it. Arrivals is 18 right and 06. This is an intermediate runway configuration, and departures 09 right. As the wind is turning towards the east and further to the south, this is an intermediate runway configuration. As the wind is progressing further to the southeast later during the day, you will probably see what was already depicted on LVNL. The southbound runways will be used, so all the north-south runways, but then in southerly direction. Right. In the meantime, helicopter Kestrel is also hovering while we're waiting for the first arriving airplanes. You can see helicopter Kestrel over there. Hey Koen, goedemorgen, and all others who have joined in the meantime. Runway reversal. The wind is progressing from northwest to south, from northeast to southeast. Let me just show the map. So we had wind that was blowing from the northeast initially. It is now gradually turning to the southeast, and the runway configuration is changing. Initially, when the wind was like so, the runway was used for departures. Now it is switching to be used for arrivals together with runway 09 and 06. And as the day progresses and the wind is turning like so, you'll probably start seeing this runway configuration being used. And I wonder if I refresh if the... Okay, well no. So in actual practice, this runway is now open for landings, this one is open for landings, and this one is open for departures. Which is a sort of intermediary runway configuration for wind blowing from the east. In the meantime, slowly but surely, the first airplane to arrive is approaching, BA flight 430, arriving from London Heathrow, A319. So now we need to look to the north for our incoming airplanes. BA flight 430, undoubtedly visible somewhere, but it is a small airplane. I haven't found it visually yet, so I don't know where I need to point the camera to. The blue backdrop doesn't really help to provide some contrast against which the airplane becomes better visible. It's almost turning in, according to flight radar. Not yet visible, but soon to be. Hey there, Jean-Yves, salut mon ami, good to see you again. Hope all is well. Bill, good morning. Air Force Edits, good morning. So, if you just joined us, welcome to the show. We began the stream with departures to the north. Now, runway reversal in progress, and we're waiting for arrivals from the north. If you just joined us, you may have missed the second consecutive day that we saw KLM's latest A321neo, the first and only in the fleet right now, took off to Aarhus again for another training flight, just like it did yesterday. Hey there, Amy, goedemorgen. Still not seeing BA flight 430, which should be visible somewhere. I think I have it finally. Yes, there it is. First airplane landing on runway 18 right. I did put that correctly in the meter, didn't I? In the ticker. Hey Josiah, good morning. Yeah, 18 right. Check. Hey Martin Air, good morning. The cat asks, should we smash the like button? Well, do what you want. I don't think it has made a difference at all. So, yeah. BA flight 430, the first airplane to land after the runway switch. Arriving from London Heathrow, A319, flight time 44 minutes. 19-year-old airplane, first flight March 2005. See that I also still have to relocate the remote, which is easier to operate when it is on a different of my 3 tripod legs. Alright, now they have switched to parallel arrivals, which is nice. It's been a while since we last saw that. It seems that, well, I'm not sure if the ILS system has now been fully calibrated, but at least when it is KVK like today, the runway can be used for arrivals as well. I think this is the first time since they closed the runway for the maintenance. KLM flight 1902 arrived from Vienna. So I'm curious to see what the runway configuration now has become then. Parallel arrivals, has it actually become, well, LVNL still indicates all runways 18 now in use. I'm not sure if that is correct. Thought I saw still some airplanes taking off from runway 09 just now. Means I'm a bit confused about what is the proper runway use now. One thing I can see and say with certainty is that we now have parallel arrivals on both 18 runways, right and center. Departures seem to be taking place from 09 right now. Bit confusing. Iberia Express arriving from Madrid is the next airplane, at least that is, there's no confusion about that. Flight 3722, 1 hour 55 minutes of flight time, 22-year-old airplane, first flight June 2022. Right, so I think it's a safe bet to say that departures are from 09 and arrivals now 18C plus 18 right. Good. Runway roulette day today at Schiphol Airport, as you guys can see. Now the arrivals take place. Earlier in the stream we began with departures. This is a German Airways Embraer 190 flying on behalf of KLM, arriving from Nuremberg, flight 1840. 54 minutes underway. 16 years old, first flight I think January 2008. Marissa says something red, second for arrival. Wonder what that might be. What could it be? What could it be? Hey Matt, goedemorgen. So, good morning everybody. Welcome to the show. You're watching AMS Live. My name is Boy. We're standing at Polderbaan, which hosted arrivals, departures in the beginning of the stream, and now arrivals. Parallel arrivals in progress. As far as I can recall, the first time since center runway has been closed for maintenance. It was used already for outbound traffic to the north when the weather was favorable. Now the weather definitely is favorable today. It is KVK all day, blue in the sky and hardly any clouds. Now that also means hardly any contrails, sadly. I've been looking around quite a few times. I've yet to spot the first contrail in the sky today. We're looking at KLM flight 1704, which is returning from Brussels. Mussels from Brussels and sprouts. 26 minutes of flight time. 15-year-old airplane, first flight January 2009. No Captain Wheelie, Capitano Wheelie, not on board. Or not flying at least. Hey Martin, goedemorgen. At least more action now with parallel arrivals. That's good. We have an E2 Embraer 195 KLM flight 1198 arriving from Oslo, flying to the center runway. E2 Embraer 195, 1 hour 24 minutes. The flight time thus far I should say. English is failing. I'm sobering up. I need more vodka. The airplane is 3 years old. First flight February 2021. And something red coming to Polderbaan. Hadi Ricardo. Hadi Joanna. Good morning to you both. Let's look around. Have a look at that red thing coming this way. Nice. It is playtime, ladies and gentlemen. Get out your emoji. Might even get to see a butt shot. Combo emoji time. Hey Paul, goedemorgen. It is play flight 460 arriving from Reykjavik, Iceland. 2 hours 43 minutes. This airplane is now underway. The airplane is a year old. First flight was in October 2022, so next month it is going to celebrate its second birthday. Playtime butt shot time. Playtime butt shot time. JD got triggered. The alarm in Lurker's Lounge going off. Red alert, red alert. JD, come back in the chat for a butt shot of playtime. Hey there, Alan. Perfect timing if you just joined us, mate. Perfect timing if you just joined us. Let's quickly turn back. It is time for a heavy hitter returning from Las Vegas. 777-300 KLM flight 636. Already quite close by. There it is. 9 hours, 18 minutes it has traveled to get from Las Vegas to Amsterdam. It's the PHBVS. She is 7 years old. Her first flight was in February of the year 2017. Hello there, Channel for Life. Good evening, tuning in all the way from New Zealand. Hope you've had a good day. Helicopter Kestrel. Fetal Kestrel over there. hovering perfectly still. Next up, AG arriving from Athens. EasyJet A319 in the meantime, going to the center runway, arriving from Copenhagen. Next airplane to arrive is one going to the center runway. KLM flight 1230, Embraer 175, returning from Game of Thrones. 1 hour and 6 minutes underway. 7-year-old airplane, first flight January 2017. Love Call says 18 left is now open for departures. So finally the runway configuration as depicted on the LVNL website, actually representing what is happening in real life. This is AG in the house, soon to be. A320neo arriving from Athens, 3 hours 9 minutes underway. A year-old airplane, first flight July 2023. And that's an odd-looking nose. Good nose, bad nose, or an odd nose? Makes the G look a little retarded. That is an odd nose. A mustache. Ah, that's it. That's it. Right, chin strap. Hey there, Mike Wild. Good morning. Sven, good morning. A beak, Sven says. When you borrow a nose from someone else, indeed. Meanwhile, to center, Embraer 190 arriving from Frankfurt. And then A320neo EasyJet arriving from Milan, about to touch down on Polderbaan. This is EasyJet. Oh. EasyJet flight 27690, 1 hour and 28 minutes underway. 6-year-old airplane, first flight June 2018. So this unit is in the way a little. Let me see. I think this should improve visibility somewhat. The plant had died already. I think we have now once again an unobstructed view. Gardening with Boy, indeed. Well, it would have been a comedy clip had I fallen into the water, of course. Which perhaps sadly for you guys I didn't. Don Zavia arriving from Verona. Hey there, Mr. Wobbly Hand, good morning. Hey Basil, good evening, or no, good afternoon. All is well over here indeed. Hope that also goes for you, my friend. Now, where is the next airplane? The next airplane is approaching to Polderban, Air Canada, flight 900, arriving from Montreal. Hey, huh? Ambulance with sirens on the cycling path over here. Just the lights, not the sound, luckily. That's interesting. Not a lot of people over here. Makes you wonder why they're coming over here. Gives me a moment to update the meter, the ticker. Departures 18 left. Let's switch. Replace that. Alrighty. Still no idea why it is driving here with those lights on. Right, Pilot Thunder is going to work, so too will I. Got the heavy hitter coming in, arriving from Montreal, Air Canada flight 900, picking me up to drive me to the lunatic asylum. Absolutely. They got a call from some anonymous source that a raving alcoholic is babbling nonsense in the middle of a field in the sun. This is Air Canada flight 900, arriving from Montreal, 7878 Dreamliner, 6 hours 14 minutes underway, 10-year-old airplane, first flight July 2014. Yes, reversers. Very nice. Very nice. Let's have another quick overview of airplanes of interest coming this way. Saudia 747, although it will probably land on center, now at least we can see the parallel arrivals again, so we can still see it land over here, flying south of Gibraltar, and Portugal is the Orange Pride, expected 10 minutes to 2. We have a Flexport Atlas Air, well at least I hope it is in the Flexport livery. All the pictures do seem to indicate it is this, that is the current livery. Arriving from Miami, 124 is its ETA, will land on Polderban then. And 107, a standard livery Emirates A380. PHBVD also coming in. Marissa is indicating flying above Dublin and has an ETA of 12:22, so nice. Parallel arrivals. The silver lining is at least airplanes landing on the center runway we can still see quite well from over here. Way better than if they were landing on runway 27, for instance. Happy to see that things are going back to what they were before. BizJet coming in, obviously not on flight radar, at least not on my flight radar. Marcel asks, will you be there tomorrow by any chance? The answer is no. Tomorrow I will not be here. BizJet, don't know what make it is, don't know where it is coming from. I suspect its destination is going to be Amsterdam Schiphol Airport. That's just a random guess. It does look nice, doesn't it? Cool bizjet. Very cool bizjet. Hey there, DJ Danny. Iceland Air is coming with the 757 100 years independent livery, Marissa is saying. That is nice. ETA 1240. So we've got tons of interesting airplanes coming this way. Well worth sticking around for if you don't have to be anywhere. Two airplane glide slope shot, Embraer 175 arriving from Norwich in the foreground, E2 Embraer 195 arriving from Manchester in the background. Mark says, love the way the engine covers provide the reverse thrust. Yeah, that's almost always the case with the reversers on bizjets. Kind of like buckets reversing and blocking the passage of the exhaust gases straight out, but upwards, downwards, sideways. Nice way of reversing. Deflecting it, I should say. Bucket is a technical term, Mark, indeed. No, mate. Bullshittery from yours truly. Hey Lucas, goedemorgen, good morning. Big picture wise, I'm turning around, but with the camera a little bit upward, and you hardly see that I'm moving because there's hardly any reference frame where you can see the movement against. KVK. Boring summery weather. Maybe one of the last summer days of this year. E2 Embraer 195 having returned from Manchester, flight 1030. Providing us with a little booty shot as well, allowing us to see through those see-through engines. Nice. Hey Bill, morning. Hope all's well in Seattle. Oh no, mother fudgers. They are assigning the 777 freighter from China Southern to the wrong runway. It's going to center. Really had hoped we would see it land over here. This is Austrian arriving from Vienna, I think. Yep. Flight 379. Hey Johan, goedemiddag, almost afternoon. Airplane full of baloney, arriving from Bologna. Embraer 190, KLM flight 1662. Flight time 1 hour and 37 minutes. Yep. There's the Chinese triple going to center. China Southern Cargo arriving from Guangzhou. Flight 2573, 11 hours and 6 minutes underway to get from China to the Netherlands. 777 freighter. She is 15 years old. Now there's no way of saying this without sounding creepy, but that is a nice looking 15-year-old. First flight was in August 2009. Mabube also back in the chat, good to see ya. Meanwhile, KLM 737-800 arriving from Birmingham, about to touch down over here. KLM style landing, keeping up the speed, vacate late, sooner to the gate. Lord knows they still have a significant taxi ahead of them when landing over here. Morning Spirit, morning Leroy, morning all others who've joined in the meantime. If you just joined us, you're now seeing arrivals. You missed the part where we saw the departures earlier in the morning. Second consecutive day that we were able to see the latest A321neo, the only one in KLM's fleet at the moment, take off to Aarhus for another training flight. In the meantime, we have a Corendon World to Fly A350-900 that is approaching Polderbaan runway, returning from Madrid, number 7 on flight radar, tracked by 172 people, rookie numbers. 1 hour 53 minutes the flight time so far. Registration is the ECNZF, November Zulu Foxtrot. The airplane is a year old, first flight May 2023. There's a BizJet flying behind it, but on the glide slope to center, which we will be able to track. After this airplane has landed. Embraer 175 somewhere behind it, which I'm not able to see just yet. Arriving from Nice, which is Nice. Now, not Nice, but Mies also in the chat. Morning everyone, she says. I'm so late, what did I miss? You missed the second consecutive day of KLM's A321neo taking off to Aarhus in the morning, in the early morning I should say. The runway was used for departures, and now since half an hour or so it's been used for arrivals. In terms of Quad Squad members, no, you haven't missed anything yet, but we are going to expect a couple of queens, the A380, PHBVA and the PHBVD. Nice use of the reversers there. Time to have a look at the AMC Aviation Learjet that is returning from Krakow in Poland. Going to center. 1 hour and 36 minutes of flight time for the Learjet 60XR. 17 years old, looks a bit pixelated, that's because I'm in the top end of digital zoom. This is with more moderate digital zoom applied, maybe a bit more. Yeah, Learjet. Looking at it from the side, I have to say I don't think it is very nice looking. Obviously a renowned name, but aesthetically I don't think it is a very appealing airplane to look at. 17 years old already. The design indeed looks a bit dated. Hey there, Harry. Good morning. Quick pan back to Polderbound traffic for the touchdown of KLM flight 1774 arriving from Nice, which is nice. Embraer 190 arriving from Dublin behind it, KLM flight 1136. Two airplane glide slope shot. In the foreground, KLM flight 1136 arriving from Dublin, Ireland. There it is, KLM flight 1136 returning from Dublin, Ireland, Embraer 190. Choop. Squeaky brakes on an Embraer, who would have thought? That's a first. Butt shot in the making. Marissa says Chucky is also on the way from Amsterdam to Amsterdam from Aberdeen. ETA 11:57. Nice. Love calls. Has to go for now. See you later, alligator. Thanks for joining, mate. E2 Embraer 195. Up next, the airplane behind it is a 777-200 arriving from Toronto, KLM flight 696. First, KLM flight 936, which is arriving from Glasgow in Scotland. 1 hour and 14 minutes of flight time. Already caught a glimpse of it. Parallel, another Embraer 190 going to the center runway, returning from Aalborg. We are focusing in on the heavy hitter that is now on the glide slope for the Polderbound. KLM flight 696 777-200 arriving from Toronto. 6 hours 45 minutes on the way. The PHBQC, 20 years old, first flight November 2003. Now I'm happy to report that a Delta Airlines A330 is now second to arrive on the Polderbaan, with an Embraer 190 by KLM arriving from Stavanger preceding it. There we go, 2 airplanes on the glide slope. Where's Jerry? He's missing out on all the fun. Mrs. Professor says time for bed. See everyone next time. Thank you so much for joining, Mrs. Professor. Sleep well. Hope to see you in the next one. Ah, there he is. Jerry in the chat as well. Slope the glide. Oui, oui, bien sûr. There is a third one. On paper. On paper it should be turning in somewhere in the background, though I am not seeing it just yet. Stop the glide with a little bit of spacing in between the Delta and the next airplane behind it, which is an Embraer 175. Logical. Wake turbulence or whatnot. Andrew also back in the chat. Good morning, mate. Tuning in from sunny Yorkshire. So, savor the moment. Indeed, a beautiful day at Schiphol as well. KVK all day. Wind was initially blowing from the northeast and is slowly but surely turning to the southeast. So we began the stream with departures to the north. Now it has become arrivals from the north. Ah, stickers. For the alphabet soup community. Beer shots with pain medication, not smart, Jerry says. Well, it depends on what kind of pain medication you're using. Sometimes the complementary action is actually effective for pain management. Anyway, Alan has to go. He says, catch you later, legend and crew. It's time to piss people off. Absolutely, you got them right. Love to hear a report from you next time when I'm streaming. Who did you piss off? How pissed were they? Did they retaliate? We'll hear it next time, man. Enjoy the rest of your day, Alan. Delta Airlines 160 arriving from Minneapolis, Minnesota. Delta A330. Will it get loud? Let's look and listen. That was a bit disappointing. Now, the Embraer 175 at a respectable distance. First, the wake turbulence has to dissipate of the big airplane before the small airplane can land. Gives me a moment to go to the laptop and highlight Arjan's message where he gifted 5 memberships just now. Arjan, thank you so much for that. You really shouldn't have, but you did it anyway. If you're one of the recipients, don't forget to say dankjewel or thank you to Arjan. Welcome to the Aurora Skylines new members. Be sure to use the custom emojis at your disposal now for a month. Spamming is not allowed unless it is with custom emojis. Arjan, dankjewel man. Thank you so much. Very kind. 5 new members courtesy of you. Now we've been hovering around 600 members for a while now. At some moments a little bit more. We still need 700 for a vacant slot of a new custom emoji. Pretty sure in due course we'll get there. Number of members creeping up slowly but surely. We were there already before, somewhere a year ago. I think that was that had to do with Mitchell Norris for a significant degree. This is KLM flight 1788, Embraer 175, rare Embraer. Plenty more where that came from. Another 2 airplane glide slope shot. Third one is turning in. Not sure if we can see it. Truth be told, I'm struggling to see more than 3 airplanes on the glide slope today. Hey, that's good news, Marissa. Saudia 747 confirmed for Polderbaan. The first queen of the show will be landing on the runway we are standing next to. Yeah, you're right. In actual practice, it does look like Polderbaan now the only runway for arrivals. Yeah. I'm also looking up. I'm pretty sure that there's an airplane passing by overhead, but it's not producing a contrail. Whoa, whoa, whoa. What have we here? It is the return of Herpes. 75 years of Herpes. Miniatuurmodellen, miniature models. Now, Bill says, speaking of membership, I just noticed that I hit 4 months today. Time flies when you're having fun. Thank you, boy, for a great channel. Thank you so much for your continued support, Bill, and for your kind words. There is also a way to use a highlighted message. I don't know exactly how to do that. Maybe one of the mods can help you with that. I will happily highlight your message regardless, but there's also a colorful version that you can use. Well, I'll definitely do my best to continue providing consistent content for you guys. Here we have KLM flight 1406. Which returns from Paris Charles de Gaulle, and next is an Embraer 175, KLM flight 1710, arriving from Luxembourg. We see another airplane in the background behind it. That is a Transavia that is returning from Barcelona, flight 5132. Paul says, what's that little hump on the back of that KLM? That would be a hump where the Wi-Fi communication, the Wi-Fi receivers are located, if I recall correctly. I think there's also some other communication stuff under the dome, but Wi-Fi is one of the things that is located over there. Wi-Fi receiver. Hey there, Raphael. Raphael says, I'm tired. Took 2 days off from work. So a long weekend then. Hopefully that will be enough for you to recover and get your battery back up again a little. Now, interestingly enough, Paul, not all airplanes have those humps. As you can see over here, there's no hump. And not all 737s of KLM have them. And there's also a seemingly randomness in which ones do and don't have that hump. It's not necessarily from a certain year, from a certain vintage that they all started having one. Yeah, and that as well, Jerry, the hump is for skis, backpacks, mother-in-laws. It's a multifunctional hump for storage. Transavia up next, arriving from Barcelona. One of the trash flights, flight 5132, 1 hour 52 minutes of flight time, the PHHXB. 8-year-old airplane, first flight February 2016. And thank you, Andrew, for the update. The Saudia Cargo Queen going over Deventer, so still about 20 minutes away. As you can see, no Wi-Fi hump on this airplane. Don't think that any of the Transavia airplanes are equipped with them. And number 175 arriving from Bristol up next to Polderbaan. KLM flight 1076. Another little airplane behind it, that is KLM flight 924 arriving from Edinburgh, 737-800. Third airplane that is turning in from the left, if we are able to see it, which I'm not sure that we are, but just in case I'm making the shot a little wider, is a KLM 777-300 arriving from Vancouver. Oh yeah, crawling behind the laptop. 3 airplane glide slope shot, there you go. Hadi Joop, goedemorgen. And all others who have joined in the meantime, good morning. First queen of the show, estimated to be 20 or so minutes out. Arrivals on Polderbaan. We began the stream with departures. Wind is changing throughout the day, and so too is runway use. KLM flight 1076 arriving from Bristol, Embraer 175, 54 minutes of flight time now, touching down. 6-year-old airplane, first flight January 2018. Butt shot to boot. Butt shot in the making. Here it is. Blammo. Meanwhile, United Airlines to Houston, 777-200 just took off. Is that from center? Yeah, center, the secondary runway for departures now. So it's the 318 runways that are now in use. With Polderbaan, 18 right, the only one for arrivals at the moment. Center and left being used for departures. Later, center will switch to receiving arrivals again. KLM flight 924. Big storage room for skis and mother-in-laws over there. And the PHBCK is back. KLM flight 682 is what we are now looking at. It is arriving from Vancouver. 8 hours and 43 minutes on the way. 777-300 It is the PHBVP. Bravo Victor Papa. 8 years old, first flight February 2016. Descending now, according to flight radar, with a vertical speed of minus 704 feet per minute. Duly noted. Ground speed 153 knots. Wheelie time! Nice! That was lovely. Hadi Marco! Goedemorgen nog net! Just about good morning still. Hi Anja, goedemiddag, morgen. Watching a bit while cleaning. Multitasking. Typical female. Queen of multitasking. Us men, we could never do that. It's either the one or the other. Everybody who says they're watching Amos Live while at work, they're not working. Physically there, mentally absent. But yeah. Happy to provide a valuable source for procrastination. EasyJet arrival from Bristol, A319, 56 minutes of flight time, 15-year-old airplane, first flight March 2009. Chucky 4th for arrival, Marissa says. KLM flight 604 from LA, arrival from LAX. Just about behind the EasyJet 787-10 Dreamliner. Once again looking up, I'm hearing overhead traffic, not seeing any contrails. That's a bit of a bummer. Even though it does look like the sky in the background is a bit milky. Definitely some humidity in the upper atmosphere, but for some reason contrails don't seem to be produced today. Oh well, such is life. At least I can still stream in t-shirt and shorts while it is September. So I'm not complaining. Andrew is confirming what I just mentioned. I may be in the office, but there's very little actual work going on. Yep. That is us, man. We think we can multitask, but we actually cannot. But that's okay. We can live with our shortcomings. This is KLM flight 604, arrival from LAX. It's a 787-10 Dreamliner, flight time 9 hours and 45 minutes. The PH-BKI. The airplane is 4 years old, first flight August 2020. Hey At, who is tuning in from Dubai Airport? Good afternoon to you. Now Flightradar says there's a Cessna 172 somewhere behind the Dreamliner. I'm looking around, not seeing anything, not hearing anything. Would be nice to spot it. If Flightradar isn't screwing up, because now the Cessna is seemingly on the glide slope of the center runway, so I'm thinking not a lot of the actual positioning is true. Marissa says 747 above marker Mir, Saudia Queen coming in, landing on Polderbaan pretty soon. Let's see. Oh, now it is flying between Purmerend and Alkmaar. And there are 3 airplanes preceding the 747, apologies. Question is, can I see the 747 already? Looking over my camera a bit to the right, where I think we should be able to see it under optimal circumstances, not normal circumstances, but oh no, wait, it is still pretty far away. No. If it was flying in the vicinity of Purmerend, a bit lower, I think it is now too far to the north to be able to see it. Anyway, this is KLM, flight 954, arrived from Newcastle, 737-700, 56 minutes of flight time, the PGM, 13-year-old airplane, first flight February 2011. Jeff says, do I have time to get a coffee? That's the important question. It depends, it depends. Filter drip, that is already in the pot. Yes. If you have to make an espresso and also do the milk for your cappuccino, then it depends on the distance between you and the coffee maker. If you have to walk a substantial bit, if you have to go to a coffee shop to get your order in, then there's no more time for coffee. Oh, hey, nice, finally. I was about to say I'm hearing something pass immediately overhead, and immediately overhead it is. And it is even producing a little contrail. Is that EasyJet? Does EasyJet also have their name on the bottom of the airplane? It looks orangey, it looks EasyJet-ish. And I may be totally wrong. Which also wouldn't surprise me. Air India. Ah, yeah, I thought it looked a bit bigger, but there you go. Air India A380, nice. And Al says, I'm up unusually early in the US getting ready for a medical procedure. Watching the stream makes it worth it. Well, all the best with that procedure then, Al. So does that mean you're in hospital already, waiting for you to be picked up? This is German Airways, this is Chucky, the DAPRI, arriving from Aberdeen. We know the stats of this airplane by heart, or at least the regular viewers will. Is the Captain Wheelie? No. But it was looking promising. Chocolate tablets. Bonbons. Bonbons with nuts. And the icing on the cake is chocolate cake. Chocolatey butt shot, proving that chocolate doesn't necessarily make your bum look big. Now also a massive big thank you to Leroy, who just now gifted a membership, and I see that Mike was the recipient. Welcome to the Aurora Sky Lounge, Mike. And Leroy, thank you so much for your generosity gifting a membership. Now all members, get ready with the emojis we have at our disposal for the next airplane landing after this from Saudia. First queen of the show, Saudia, arriving from Jeddah with Jeddah Nights on board. 747-400. Saudia cargo, flight 933. 5 hours, 22 minutes on the way. It's the 9H aka Hakka en Zagen. The airplane is 29 years old. First flight January 1995. Harry, thank you so much for your kind words. He says, boy, if I'd be there, I would be a coffee runner. I would get your coffee in the French fries runner. That is so sweet, Harry. Thank you so much for your kind words. 29-year-old airplane. It began flying in January 1995. I think I was in my second year of middle school then, which I attended from 1994 until the year 2000, after which I went to university for the first study that I did. What were you doing in January 1995? And let's look and listen. First Queen. Doesn't seem to be a reverse using day. Nah. That's a bit of a bummer. Hey there Thomas, good afternoon. Hope you were just in time to see the first Queen land over there. Saudia cargo. Hailing from the year 1995. That's a good looking 29-year-old then. Got a little itty bitty Embraer 170 Britty Hopper arriving from Darlington. That is about to touch down. After that, Delta Airlines A380 arriving from Detroit, flight 136. Flaps are retracting. BHD90 also in the chat says good morning from a surprisingly sunny Belfast. Good morning to you too from a surprisingly sunny Amsterdam Schiphol Airport, as you can see. A little bit of milkiness in the sky, but most of the sky is pristine blue with only here and there further away some high cirrus clouds. Now, what is this? Something coming our way. Is that a Chinese? No, it's a... Huh? Oh, it's Finnair. It's the Finnair A350 going to bloody Helsinki. It is coming our way. Adrian also back in the chat. First thunder clouds are in the country already, in the vicinity of Raalte and going towards Zwolle. Okay. Finnair A350. I think it was in the Bringing Us Together Since 1923 livery. So it has a little bit of text on the back side of the fuselage. Going to bloody Helsinki. Now, let that not detract us from the business at hand. Delta Airlines flight 136 arriving from Detroit, Michigan. 7 hours 18 minutes of flight time. 7-year-old airplane, first flight March 2017. Landing on Polderbaan with the potential to get loud, so let's look and listen. Fingers crossed. That's what I'm talking about. Bill says, oh, that sunshine boy, don't become a lobster. Don't you worry, Bill. Put on some sunscreen before leaving the house. If anything, I'm getting toasty and brown. Finnair 350 fan is informing us a 747 is coming in from Miami. 115 was its ETA, wasn't it? If I recall correctly. Why don't we have another look? Oh, zoom out is what I wanted. Let's have a quick look on flight radar. Saudia just now landed. We have Flexport Atlas Air arriving from Miami. 1:40 p.m. ETA. 1:05 ETA of the standard livery Emirates A380. Orange Pride expected 1:50. 1:40, 1:50. The Emirates A380. Jesus is flying from is at Palma de Mallorca and will be returning to Liverpool. While we are still with the screen in screen, let's have a look. Right, so the wind. It started out with 060 degrees. It was 070 degrees later in the stream. Now it is 090 degrees. 12 knots. So it is turning ever more southeasterly. Pasting the METAR in the ticker for you guys, and then it's back to the camera controls. If I recall correctly, we have some narrow bodies coming in now back to back. First airplane now touching down is a Transavia flight 6410, which is arriving from Naples, Napoli. Southeast Aviation in the chat, good morning or afternoon, depending on the time of day where you are at. Thomas says 1995, then I was a young law clerk in a district court in southern Sweden. Check it out, nice. Andrew says 1995, cooking hearty grub in a local pub, nice. Yeah, well, as I said, I was in the second year of middle school or high school, whatever you would like to call it. The school between elementary school and going to university, which in my case lasted 6 years, 1994 until the year 2000. Again, hearing something overhead, looking up. This time, not seeing a contrail. No, sadly cannot show you the airplane. Unless I happen to see it. Still a needle in a haystack then. KLM flight 1020 is next, arriving from Leeds. It's an Embraer 190, German Airways Embraer 190. The flight time is 51 minutes. 15-year-old airplane. First flight somewhere in 2009, most likely January. I'm assuming I'm not the only person who is seeing that the the age of the airplane in some cases is no longer specified with a month and year, but just with the year of the first flight. Seems to be a bit random. Adrian failed to earn his first million in 1995. Yeah, I think I've tried and failed at that each year of my life as well. Practice makes perfect is what they say, right? So maybe one day. Got another German Airways Embraer 190 coming in. This one is one of the two Adlers. One of the pink airplanes. Arrival from Berlin Flight time 55 minutes, par for the course. Berlin, normally speaking, an hour's flight away, just as Dublin is and Copenhagen. The airplane is 16 years old, first flight somewhere in 2008, most likely January. Good news, good news, good news. Delta Airlines A330 Neo will be coming next after the Adler, arriving from Minneapolis, Minnesota. Peter was working for Dutch Post, back then still the PTT, nice, in 1995. Ari the Aeron, still there, getting his feet wet. Or maybe he is stuck in the mud and was planning on moving but couldn't. Stuck in life. The field of wheat has been harvested. Earlier in the morning the seagulls were also celebrating a festival over there. Now it's just Crowfest 2024. And Adrian was referring to the first thundercloud in the nation, being in the nation already, more land inward, and this is looking to the northeast, more land inward in other words. Vague contours of some clouds that might develop into something more showery. This is looking to the east and it is still clear as far as we can see, but the sky is actually quite milky. There is humidity in the sky. Delta Airlines Flight 164 is what we are now looking at. Arriving from Minneapolis, Minnesota, 7 hours 40 minutes underway. It is an A330 Neo, which according to Flight Radar is brand new, which means it is less than a year old. It is turning 1 next month. First flight was in October 2023. It's the November 425 Delta X-Ray. Indeed, Peter, back then postman was a full-time job. Come on, spool up those reversers. Yes. Nice. Nice, nice, nice. I was looking around me, I was hearing something pass overhead, but that is just a small Embraer 190 to Oslo. Paul had just graduated and was dreading the thought of having to get a job. Man, I still get nightmares from from that. I was one of those kids that after graduation was immediately counting how much do I have to work before I'm able to retire. How many years? What? So many? Postman Pat. Peter Post. Peter Post. Peter Post is the Dutch equivalent of Postman Pat. So the joke Marissa is making is that Peter was actually Postman Pat back in the day, being a postman, a mailman. Hey, you're also back in the chat, nice. Hey, bon appétit. saying proper German. Now we have a KLM A330 coming this way. You can see it is pointing its nose away from us. That's not because it doesn't like us. Well, that might also be the case, but the wind is coming from the east, so it is crabbing, but it is crabbing away from us, which is why it looks a little bit odd, normally speaking, with prevailing wind from the southwest, or at least with a western component in it. Flying now to the south, it would be facing us, and now it is actually looking like it is moving away from us. It is arriving from Bonaire, the B in the ABC Islands, Aruba, Bonaire, Curacao. KLM flight 765, countdown, flight number Fuck B, PHAKB. Twelve-year-old airplane, first flight February 2012. Ron already was 6 years older in '95 than I am now. Wow. Given the fact that I am now at the age that I hold the answer to the life, the universe and everything. +6, 48. That's almost 30 years ago. So that means you're 78? If I did my math correctly. Now the big bird coming in. 777-300ER arriving from Panama City. The PHBVD, there she is, KLM flight 758, 9 hours and 41 minutes on her way. 15-year-old airplane, first flight August 2009. Beautiful, beautiful. Next up is an Embraer 190 arriving from Stuttgart. There's also a bizjet that is flying over Amsterdam now. And we did I think we did see it yesterday. Yeah. One of the last airplanes, I think, Jurg. Hey Nico, goedemiddag. Wind blowing from the east. This morning it was from the northeast. It is turning to the southeast as the day progresses, which is why we began the stream this morning with departures to the north, and now we are having arrivals from the north. Embraer 190, Embraer 190, Embraer 190. Narrow bodies, narrow bodies, narrow bodies, narrow bodies are coming in. Back to narrow bodies until the KLM from Atlanta. Marissa says, how much more do we have to wait before it is expected to land? So this is an actual KLM Embraer 190 arriving from Stuttgart. 53 minutes on the way. It's the Heavies, P-H-E-Z-Y. 10 years old, first flight October 2013. Okay, floaty beginning. Sadly, no substantial wheelie. It is even a no reverser landing. Slots remain shut. Next up, another Embraer 190. Who would have thought? This one is arriving from Southend. 37 mere minutes of a mere 37 minutes of flight time. Airplane 14 years old, first flight August 2010. Mr. Wobbly Hand asks, when was Captain Wheelie last seen? Well, that has been months ago, I think somewhere in the beginning of the year. Multiple months ago, if not more. Yeah, I think, if I recall correctly, somewhere in January, February, March or so. I haven't made a separate Captain Wheelie video in ages. Could be Adrian, who says maybe he is retired. Mr. Wobbly Hand wonders if KLM demoted him for being excessively cool. Yeah, maybe they fired him. Why don't you go work for Ryanair or for one of the other show pony airliners? Maya says he's only allowed to do takeoffs now. Oh shit. Well, they probably will not have fired him. It was on the news the other day that KLM was asking their pilots to work more. A lot of them are part-time pilots, simply because they cannot get the schedules filled, so it's all hands on deck by the sound of it. Jörg says takeoffs are always wheelies in some way. Yeah, absolutely. Man, that's deep. Sounds like you've already had some nourishment for your brain. KLM, flight 1164 up next, Embraer 190. Arriving from Bergen. Now I'm also seeing the next airplane, which is on short final turning in. KLM flight 1004 arriving from London Heathrow. I'm hearing the Dakota. I am seeing the Dakota. Sound travels well. That loud mofo. Immediately recognizable. Nice, a few Gouda sandwiches. Old Gouda with a bit of mustard. Yep, indeed, Adrian. Last flights this year. That's a very modern way of putting it, Jeff. Being cancelled for not being woke. Old smoky loud fart. No mustard vomit emoji, Maria says. I take it you're not a big fan of mustard? Man. I was even having sauerkraut yesterday evening with a big splash of mustard on it. Delicious. Beyond sausage, vegetarian sausage. A little bit of green apple through the sauerkraut. Man. Little nutmeg. Harry asks, what age do the pilots retire? I think 24? Really insane. They just get their license, fly a year, and then they're retired and live a lush life of doing nothing, bragging about where they've been, what they've done, what they've seen. Now, don't think that we've seen Han in the chat today, so no need to warn him. Any other folk who might not like singular white dots in the midst of a field of green, avert your eyes. The next airplane coming in is from Vueling and arriving from Barcelona. It's an A320, flight 8309, flight time 1 hour and 44 minutes, and the airplane 17 years old. First flight of this airplane was in August 2007. Oh, fresh Gouda, not the old one. I always like the old Gouda cheese where there's those grains of salt or something in it. The older the cheese gets, the more chunky it becomes, more brittle. Hey Marissa has to go. No. Thanks for joining, Marissa. See you next time. Ooh, what the fudge? How dare they? Bill also in Maria's camp. Right, think that calls for a poll. Mustard, yay or nay? I'm a big fan of mustard. It has to be mild mustard though, it has to be said. I've also had some Dijon mustard, I think, with seeds in the mustard, uncut, unground, and that was so hot it burned my eyes out and immediately gave me a runny nose. That is overkill. I do like mustard, but it has to be mild. All right. Cast your vote. Paul says yeah. Mr. Wobbly Hand says firm yes. Jane says nay. Mustard, yay or nay? What do you say? Dijon mustard, Andrew says. This is KLM flight 1088 arriving from Cardiff, Embraer 190, flight time 59 minutes, 12-year-old airplane. Adrian says only with a bitter ball with it. Yeah, goes well with fried stuff as well. Mustard, bitterballs, kroketten. Oh. JD says different types of mustard along with the cheese platter after dinner is okay. I would say that's more than okay. That's nice. One of the best things you can have after dinner. Cheese plate, all kinds of condiments. Crystal says yay to the more sweeter German mustard. Yep. Bill says just say no. No, we're not gonna say no, Bill. Nope, that's not gonna happen. Not on my watch. Harry says, I have some sauerkraut. I'm going to prepare some sauerkraut probably tomorrow or Sunday. I boil it, then I eat it and put some mustard on it like that. Yeah, I boil potatoes first, make a potato mash out of it with a bit of milk, a bit of butter, pepper, salt, nutmeg. Then I simultaneously boil the sauerkraut. Also finely cut an apple, put that through it towards the end so that it gets a bit mushy. Also, well, you can use regular Air Arabia arriving from Nador. I think it would be equivalent to bacon. I'm using a vegetarian variant, which I also bake with some onion, put that through the mash at the end. Also bake a sausage, or you can also boil a sausage that you can, if it's one of those that you can boil to prepare. Absolutely delicious. And then with a bit of mustard on top of it. Andrew says mustard mayonnaise too. Stacy says yay for mustard, especially with pickles. Oh yeah, that's a great combination. Piccalilli and pickles as well. Piccalilli and, well, piccalilli in almost everything. Paul says bitterball and mustard is one of the Netherlands' greatest inventions. Absolutely. I remember back when I was still eating meat that I also liked bitterballs a lot. This is KLM flight 622 arriving from Atlanta, Georgia, 7879 Dreamliner. Having landed after 7 hours and 54 minutes of flight, the BHBHM, 7 years old, first flight August 2017. Maria hasn't had sauerkraut in 20 years. Paul says some mustards are lovely, cheap ones to be avoided though. Absolutely, that's almost always the case. Similar with wines. Although these days, at least in the Netherlands, your average supermarket wine has also improved quite substantially in quality. JD, I agree. Mashed potatoes with sauerkraut and salted meat, then mustard is a must. Gary says, less than a month and I fly to Amsterdam on Delta from Atlanta. Nice. Looking forward to your arrival. Mr. Wobbly Hand says, horseradish is the best. Designed by Jensen says Dutch stroopwafel is the best. That's also an excellent choice, but that's... We were talking about savory stuff. Well, at least I thought we were. In the sweet department, absolutely stroopwafel up there as one of the best. Koekkruimel's also nice. That's just the crumbled cookies that stroopwafels are made out of. CRJ going back to Copenhagen? I think so. All white. Plain. KLM flight 1614 arriving from Milan, 737-800. Nart says lunch break. Hi, oh hi there Nart, eet smakelijk. Robert, also back in the chat, says best channel ever, planes, recipes and learn Dutch. Better than Duolingo. Well, I'm not too sure about that last bit, but I'm happy to hear that you like the channel, mate. Good to have you back. Yeah. Gary, you're absolutely right. The Netherlands is absolutely top-notch when it comes to Indonesian food. We have tokos all over the Netherlands where you can get the best Indonesian stuff, Malaysian stuff. Absolutely amazing. JG just looked up stroopwafel. Mate, didn't you mean you never heard of stroopwafels before and you didn't know what they were before? Come on, really? I'm a bit disappointed if this if this was something you needed to look up, mate. Wow. But indeed, if you check out the picture, you'll know no mustard on a stroopwafel. Unless you are a masochist. Mark says Amsterdam apple pie and cream is just the best. What's in it in Dutch? What is it in Dutch? Apfelbak en slagroom? No, apfelbak is German. Appeltaart is the Dutch word. Appeltaart. Appeltaart. Appeltaart met slagroom. En slagroom is whipped cream. Sweetened whipped cream. Bill says party at boys after the stream. Well, there's definitely a party going on later today, but it's a private party. I'm sorry, Bill. Ah ja, kokosbrood. Indeed. Also one of those Dutch things. Slabs of coconut stuff. I'm not sure what they do to make it solid. Probably incorporate a lot of fat. It's the inside of a coconut, the firm part. They make strips out of them and we put it on bread. Dutch are notorious sweet tooths. We have all kinds of sweet things that we do, that we put on our bread. Maria also not liking kokosbrood. I'm not sure if I want you as a moderator for much longer then, Maria. Kokosbrood not good. Mustard not good. Marmite. I recall having once tried it, but it was a while back. Marmite. And Jane hates us. It's still 20 minutes until her lunch break. I think someone is getting hangry. Sorry, let's return to the planes then, alright? Next up, KLM 737-900, flight 1502, arriving from Madrid, 1 hour 46 minutes on the way. The PHPXR, 22 years old, first flight September 2001. Alright, 22. That should be 23 as of this month. Mr. Wobbly Hand says, I used to love raw beef sandwiches living in Amsterdam. Are they still popular? It's becoming a bit more challenging to find real broodjeszaken, as they're called. So where you can buy those sandwiches. But I'm pretty sure that cold cuts are still very much being served in those stores. Roast beef and whatnot, that's all still very... I think in that respect that hasn't changed. It's just that the popularity of cold sandwiches with, for instance, cold cuts has decreased a little bit in favor of all kinds of hip avocado shit. At least in the cities, at least in Amsterdam. Let me be a bit more specific. If you know where to find a true broodjeszaak where you can get those sandwiches, you can still get those cold cuts, including roast beef and whatnot. That is still very much a thing here. Now, a thing over here as well is Iceland Air in the 100 years independence livery. It is the Pencil returning from Reykjavik 757-300. 2 hours and 38 minutes the flight time. The airplane's age 24 years old. Nice looking 24-year-old. First flight February 2000. Let's look and listen. Alrighty. Let's quickly turn back after a delayed butt shot of the 757 Pencil. Delta Airlines Flight 144 up next, arrival from Seattle, Washington. Indeed, Bill, a missile plane with a sleek narrow body. Bit of a wider body is on this Delta Airlines A330 Neo, arriving from Seattle, arriving from your hometown, Bill. Delta Airlines Flight 144, 9 hours and 17 minutes it has taken this flight to get here so far. The airplane 5 years old, first flight May 2019. Also outbound traffic overhead, that is an Embraer 190, you might pick it up on the mic. Dare I say that the flap surfaces are reasonably clean, but KLM's are cleaner. Now there's also a Norwegian on the glide slope, arriving from Oslo, number 3 by the looks of it. Adrian says that the DC-3 is above Urk. Island of Urk, so that means it should be somewhere over there. Still pretty far away, won't be able to see it from over here. We do have overhead traffic outbound passing by. German Airways Embraer 190 flying on behalf of KLM. Captain Wheelie on the scooter. If you hear someone fall, it will be Captain Wheelie falling off his scooter. He seems to be very skilled at doing a wheelie. Maria informing us that the A380 has been assigned to Zwanenburgbaan, which is not unforeseen. At least with parallel arrivals we are able to see it. The Giants by Jensen says, boy, do you know of milk dirt? Or heard of it? Oh my god, it's one of the best things in South Africa. You mean milk pie or something like that? Milk dirt. Nope. Nope. Doesn't ring a bell. Would have to Google that. Is it something sweet or something savory? Over here we have an A320 Neo Welling arriving from Alicante. Right, Bill has to sign off for now. Thank you for joining, Bill. Enjoy the rest of your day, mate. Hope to see you in the next one. Welling arriving from Alicante, flight 1377. And it's the ECNFI. NFI in Dutch is an abbreviation for the National Forensic Institute. Pretty sure that this is unrelated to that. NFI Buttshot, there you go. Hey Clemencia, goedemiddag. Cloudy Rotterdam? You're bullshitting, aren't you? Looking to the south. Looks perfectly fine. If it is cloudy in Rotterdam, then you guys surely must have sinned, and it is punishment of God. This is Norwegian with the Andre Björk livery on the tail. We're returning from Oslo, 737-800. Andre Björk. Alright. Hey Lisa, back for a moment. What did you miss? You missed a 747 Saudia landing. You missed the runway reversal. I think when you left it was still outbound. A lot of talk about food. The 757 100 years independence livery Iceland Air arrived. Okay, cloudy in Tilburg, cloudy in Brabant. You guys have sinned over here. As you guys can see, hardly any sun, hardly any clouds in the sky. Weather Jesus must love us here in the north. Harry also says hi, doing a flyby. Boop. And landing. Sticks to landing. Chuck is asking where I'm always finding the expected runway use. That is Bezoek Bus. Let me paste it in the chat for you guys. Here you can find the expected runway use. And he asks if Jesus is at Schiphol. He isn't. He was returning to Liverpool from, what was it again? Somewhere in the Mediterranean, if I recall correctly. Yo, welcome Chuck. KLM flight 1952 arriving from Athens, 737-800 with a Delta A380 behind it, arriving from Minneapolis, Minnesota. Tina is saying in Flevoland also the sun is shining, so yeah. Got the cabin for the mother-in-law over there. Lisa would like a mini soda right now. Probably warm in the car, right? How unexpected. Probably a maxi soda is needed to rehydrate. Delta Airlines flight 162 arriving from Minneapolis, Minnesota. A330-300, 7 hours and 42 minutes underway. The airplane is 19 years old. It is the November 809 November Whiskey. Whiskey. First flight of this airplane was in March 2005. Orange Pride is expected shortly, although it will land on the center runway. At least the center runway is in use again for arrivals, which means that even if the airplane is not landing on Polderbaan, at least we can see it quite clearly from over here. Only 20 degrees. Over here it is way warmer. You really have to come visit the north. Harder, better, faster, stronger. That's us here. Blue sky, blue sky, blue sky all over. Blue sky. Little bit of cloudiness towards the northeast. Pretty far away. Hey Gillard, goedemiddag. Good to see ya. Until when will the stream last? I think the Orange Pride is the latest airplane to arrive. 10 minutes to 2. Let's have a quick look. So let's see what was coming. Well, Emirates is approaching. Huh? Is it going to 09? Huh? Oh no, it is going to go to the center runway probably, yeah. Huh? No? What was it again? Buitenveldert? Was it the sign Buitenveldert? Anyway. Ah no, the wind is blowing from the east. We have still the Flexport Atlas Air that is arriving from IMI 141, the ETA, and now in the vicinity of Tours is the Orange Pride, which I think is going to be the last airplane for today, expected to arrive around 1:44. So another 45 minutes or so of streaming for today. Embraer 190 arriving from Humberside, KLM flight 1018. First next airplane to arrive is KLM Embraer 175 flight 1186, arriving from Kristiansand. Turkish A380-200 behind it, and I'm looking to the right. I'm thinking I should be able to see the A380 if I know where I need to look. I'm looking, but I'm not seeing it. It's a bit of a shame. Taxi lady just arrived. Infinity also back in the chat. Good to see you, mate. Yeah, reflection. It reflected for a moment and that caused me to see it. There it is already, the Emirates A380. Now turning north downwind. That is our A380, Emirates flight 147. And over here we have Turkish Airlines flight 1957, A330-200, 2 hours and 50 minutes underway. 13-year-old airplane, first flight March 2011. Wind is still blowing from the east, which is why this airplane is crabbing away from us instead of towards us. Crosswind from the other direction it is normally blowing from. Right, let's look and listen. Hopefully they'll get loud. Overhead flyby by one of the seagulls. Right. Quite some airplanes are flying north of Schiphol. Most of them inbound. They're going to divide between Polderbaan if they're arriving from the west. And the Zwanenburgbaan if they are arriving from the east. Indeed, Ton. Goedemiddag trouwens. Getting busy. So the first airplane to arrive for Polderbaan Eastern Airways, Embraer 190, British Hopper, KLM Flight 972, arriving from Humberside, 38 minutes of flight time. Embraer 190 long range, 17-year-old airplane, first flight somewhere in 2007. KLM outbound flight to Copenhagen, E2 Embraer 195, passing by overhead. You might pick it up on the mic. Real butt shot in the making. Blammo. Parallel arrivals have begun. First airplane to the center runway is approaching. Before it arrives, we first can watch the A320neo from EasyJet going to Polderbaan. Flight 23301, arrival from Edinburgh, 1 hour and 5 minutes on the way. It's the Guzzler, gas Guzzler. Brand new airplane, first flight January 2024. You'd think airplanes that started flying in 2024 and were manufactured then wouldn't be any Guzzlers, but apparently. Following this airplane on the glide slope to center is KLM Flight 1818, which is an Embraer 175 returning from Frankfurt. Guzzler. Hey there, Liberator. Good afternoon. Happy Friday to you too. Emirates now on the glide slope of center. That's the Embraer 175 arriving from Frankfurt. Now, after the A380 has landed, there is still a 747 arriving from Miami and Orange Pride as well. Lisa has to go back on the road again. See you in a bit. And thank you, Clemencia. Should be okay tomorrow. Clemencia also has to go. Hopefully see you again then on Sunday. We have another KLM Embraer arriving from Southend. KLM Flight 982. 39 minutes of flight time, 14-year-old airplane. Yeah. Just kidding. We're not going to watch that airplane land. This is United Airlines. No, not United. I keep saying that when I see UAE, but it is of course Emirates. Flight 147 arriving from Dubai. Number 2 on flight radar, tracked by 940 people. Rookie numbers. Let's get it in the top 1. Flight time 6 hours 29 minutes. That is almost exactly par for the course. 6.5 hours normally the flight time at this stage. It's a 10-year-old airplane which had its first flight in June of the year 2014. Just turned 10 a couple of months ago. Still in the standard livery. If you're a member of AMS Live, you will have access to the ribbon tail, the latest iteration, now in the process of being rolled out. Given the fact that Emirates has such a big fleet, this is still the default standard livery that you see the most. Reverser quite well audible still. Now spooling down. Right, the big fat eagle from Dubai has landed. Oh, staring competition, eh? Staring competition, eh? Is that what you are here for? All right. Look into my eyes. Look into my eyes. What's that strange two-legged, featherless creature doing, making such a ruckus? Can't he see I'm trying to hunt? Asshole. This is Air France Air Baguette arriving from Paris Charles de Gaulle, flight 1640. Narrowbodies hour, rush hour. Embraer 175 arriving from Düsseldorf. KLM flight 1800. Now interestingly, the spacing between this airplane and the next airplane to center is smaller than that between the Air France that just now landed and the next airplane to Polderbaan. Which means 2 consecutive airplanes that we can see land on center. Next airplane to land on center is a 737-900. There it is already. Arriving from Copenhagen. Right, so in the upcoming half hour, we're still awaiting the 747 Atlas Air arriving from Miami with the Flexport livery. And the KLM Orange Pride is arriving, flying over France, coming this way. Both expected in half an hour or so from now. I'm expecting both airplanes to be assigned to Polderbaan as well. This is KLM Flight 914 arriving from Aberdeen, Embraer 190, 1 hour 14 minutes of flight time under its belt. 15 years old, this airplane, first flight July 2009. Okay, wheelie time. That'll be the little modest wheelie. No Captain Wheelie Wheelie. What do you know? KLM 737 arriving from Rome. 737-800. Next to Polderbaan is a flight of losers. E2 Embraer. E2 Embraer 195, KLM flight 1450. 1 hour 27 minutes on the way to get from Toulouse to Netherlands. 2-year-old airplane, first flight February 2022. Let's see what else is coming this way. Ryanair is coming. The tap dancers from Tap Air Portugal are coming. Next airplane after this one is going to be BA, arriving from Gatwick. Parallel arrivals for the first time in a while. The center runway being used again for arrivals. Embraer 190 arriving from Billand, KLM flight 1294. Next up, EasyJet A320 arriving from London Gatwick. 44 minutes underway. 22 years old, first flight May 2002. Good evening, Bob, tuning in from Sydney again. Mate, if you just joined us, you sadly missed the arrival of the Emirates A380, albeit on the center runway. What was it, 10 minutes or so ago, if not less? We began the stream with outbound traffic to the north. Pretty soon, around 11 o'clock or something, runway reversal. Ever since then, arrivals. We've seen a 747 land on Polderbaan. We're going to see another one pretty soon. We're also going to see the Orange Pride in the next half hour. The Emirates A380 landed on center. During the outbound hour in the beginning, a second consecutive day of seeing the latest A321neo from KLM taking off to Aarhus. Butt shot in the making. Gary Grip, the mother ducker, is also here. Bloop, going under. Winding the shot again because they can go They can travel significant distances underwater. So the question is, where will he re-emerge? And I'm still waiting for an answer. Ah, there. Insane. Noisy Brit indeed, Jeff. You can safely bet it had a few beers. They're already always very loud, but if you give them a few beers, that'll really do the trick. This is TAP Air Portugal, arriving from Lisbon, A319, 2 hours and 32 minutes of flight time. Hey gebakje. No others who are still here. It's always an exodus after the A380 has landed, but if you don't have to be anywhere, definitely worth sticking around for, with another 747 expected to land on Polderbaan in the Flexport livery, and the Orange Pride as well, which Adrian was just mentioning is flying over the north of France. So also both expected within half an hour or so from now. This is Ryanair flight 3006 arriving from Dublin, Ireland, 737-800, 1 hour 9 minutes underway. Ryanair pilots often use the reversers, and every time I say that it seems to jinx the landing, so it's probably going to be a very quiet and subdued KLM style landing. We'll find out soon enough. Main gear, touchdown, tippy-toey. Ah! Nice! Bob says, I watched two A380 go from Sydney about 6 hours ago. Ooh, la-di-da. Well, this is Schiphol, where one a day is the highlight of the day, sadly. So it was the highlight of our day here at Schiphol. Yeah, there is a second one coming as of next month, if I'm not mistaken. It will arrive instead of the 777-300 that was flying the route first. I think one of the evening arrivals. Paul is confirming what we already thought was going to happen, namely that Atlas Air, the 747, has been assigned to Polderbaan, arriving from the west, which will also hopefully be the case for the Orange Pride. Well, if not, then at least we'll be able to see it, since we are back to parallel arrivals. Downside of that is that the threshold of 18 left is no longer as bustling as it was before with southwesterly winds. So it seems that that window of opportunity has now closed. Means you can still go there to film the departures from 18 left when the wind is blowing from the south, but runway 27 now of course no longer has to be used for arrivals as secondary runway, because now, as you guys can see, center can also be used again. Embraer 190 arriving from Gdansk, KLM flight 1304. E2 Embraer 195 next on Polderban. Arriving from Manchester, 51 minutes on the way, the PHNXP. I'm wondering, didn't we see it take off earlier in the morning? I'm pretty sure that we did, or it was yesterday. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Airplane is a year old, first flight June 2023. Oh, this is looking nice. It was looking nice. I stand corrected. For a moment it looked like they were going to set up for a wheelie, like they were setting up for a wheelie, but then the nose wheel lowered pretty rapidly. Transavia up next, arriving from Seville. Flight 6728, 2 hours and 38 minutes on the way. Fourteen-year-old airplane. First flight June 2010. Another airplane in the background in the top left quadrant. That is an A320 EasyJet arriving from Milan. There should be another airplane approaching from the right in the background somewhere, if you're able to see it, which I'm not sure that we are. That would be a 737-800 arriving from Budapest. First, this Transavia 737 arriving from Seville, 2 hours and 39 minutes underway. 14 years old, first flight June 2010. Now, even though a lot of traffic has been coming to the Polderban in the last couple of minutes, it doesn't mean that the center runway is closed altogether. There is a 737 on the glide slope to the center runway arriving from Budapest. Before that, we have an EasyJet A320 that is arriving from Milan on the glide slope of Polderban, 1 hour and 27 minutes underway. 9-year-old airplane, first flight June 2015. Now, off the coast, arriving for Polderban from Rio de Janeiro is KLM flight 706. Flying off the coast of Noordwijk right now. Not sure if we can see it already. Probably not, probably still a little bit too far away. It's also not immediately over the coastline, but a little bit more out over the sea. A bit further to the west. Looking to the west, but I'm not seeing anything, sadly. Now, little isolated arrival to the center runway. This is a KLM 737 arriving from Budapest. However, it is not the only airplane that is coming to the central runway. There's also a KLM 737 arrival from Reykjavik, which interestingly is going to the central runway, where you would have thought it was going to be going to the Polderbaan. Not exactly sure why. And Paul, thank you for the confirmation of what we were already more or less hoping / expecting, namely that the Orange Pride also has been assigned to the Polderbaan. Alexander says hi from Johannesburg, South Africa. Hey there, Alexander. Now, looking on flight radar, I can see that the 747 is approaching, and the Orange Pride is also in Dutch airspace. Slowly but surely coming this way, the grand finale of today's show. Now again, I already mentioned yesterday, but tomorrow I will not be doing a live stream. I have a funeral to attend, which is, so it also involves a little bit of traveling. Will probably take the better part of the day. So I hope to be out again on Sunday, weather permitting. It's getting busy. Next airplane to land on Polderbaan is number 190, arriving from Nantes. And at 737 Transavia, arriving from Reykjavik, passing by over there. This is KLM flight 1420, arriving from Nantes, Embraer 190, 1 hour and 9 minutes of flight time, 15 years old. Hot shot in the making. Right. Thank you for the update, Adriaan. KLM Orange Pride over Zeeland, the southwesternmost province of the Netherlands. Quickly coming this way. In the meantime, we have an A320neo arriving from Corfu, EasyJet, going to the center runway. Coming to the Polderbaan is a KLM 737-800 arriving from Lion. Wow. K1 passing by. VW. Chasing away the birds with the Predator bird sound effects. Works effectively. This is KLM flight 1432, arrival from Lion. 737-800, 1 hour and 13 minutes ago it left. The plane 18 years old. It is interesting to see. I was double checking, is the chat still working? Almost a complete stop of chat messages after the landing of the A380, and since we stopped talking about food. Everybody is holding on for dear life until the last few minutes and the last airplanes have landed, and then continue with the rest of your life. Embraer 175 arriving from Stavanger. Apologies, Stavanger. Jeff says food. (747). Where is it? Where is it? It is approaching. The 747 Atlas Air is approaching from the west, somewhere over there. Question is, can we see it? It depends on where it is going to fly to. Right now it is, I think, too far over the sea, still too far to the west for us to be able to see. Wouldn't be surprised if we were able to catch a glimpse of it later. Now, for the first time in the stream, I'm seeing a bit more of what can be called cloudiness. This is to the northeast. This is directly to the north. Got a narrow body coming in first. Number 2 is a 777-200 arriving from Rio de Janeiro. Let's see, the 747 is flying to the north, still pretty far to the west. I'm looking left of me to see if I can spot anything. The sad answer is I cannot see it. It is too far away, I think. Indeed, Jaco, towering cumulus. Those might evolve into showers later. Andre asks, is it an Embraer? Well, let's have a look. It has winglets or sharklets that are outward pointing and relatively tall. It has small engines. I'm thinking this is an Embraer 175. A rare Embraer 175. Now, Jeff, thank you so much for your kind words. Pretty sure it's going to be a nice ceremony. Andre just returned from the dock and a rare plane inside. Must be your lucky day. And indeed, Paul, it was quite a floaty landing, wasn't it? Really slow to let it drop. Now, this is KLM flight 706, 777-200 arriving from Rio de Janeiro, 10 hours and 35 minutes underway. The PHBQP. Bravo Quebec Papa, 17 years old. Now, lovely weekend to you too, Mr. Blue Sky. Red Wine Express up next. KLM flight 1442, E2 Embraer 195, arriving from Bordeaux. Over there. Let's see, where is the Queen? The Queen is flying base. Glistening of the number 2 visible. That is the 737 KLM arriving from Dublin. Making the shot wide, and I'm also crouching behind the laptop to see with hopefully a bit less reflection. No, still impossible for me to see the 747 already. Pretty far to the north still on its base leg. I'm not sure if we are able to see it from over here so far. Now we have a nice little itty bitty Embraer that we can look at, or skip the Red Wine Express and have a look at the 777 Qatar arriving from Doha. This is a 777-300 containing people and not cargo. What the fudge? Oh, there's a combo shot in the making. Let's zoom out. Nice. Sweet, sweet indeed. Oh, no need to be sorry, Anya. And thank you for your kind words. Group, a flock of birds. Not sure what they are. Pigeons. Pigeons doing formation flying. Nice. Low level formation flying. Never lose sight of your wingman. They're coming, they're coming. And going. Quite agile birds. Amazing. Nice. A little bit of showboating by the pigeons. Meanwhile, KLM flight 1138 about to touch down here. 737-700. Arriving from Dublin, Ireland. Right, queen number 2, now she's finally visible. Only just. And flying right left of me, somewhere, should be the Orange Pride. It's flying sideways, so I should be able to see that contrasty fuselage if I know where to look. On paper it should be visible. Meanwhile, coming this way, Atlas Air, Flexport livery, flight 8208, arriving from Miami, Florida. Miami, happy that temperatures are cooler here than in Florida. 747-400, 8 hours 10 minutes underway. The airplane is 24 years old. It's the November 485 Mike Charlie. First flight July 2000. Still glancing to the left to see if I can spot the Orange Pride, but still not seeing it. Let's not lose track of what's most important right now, and that is this airplane. Will she get loud? We'll find out soon enough. Let's look and listen. Bit of a delayed application of the reversers there. Oh man, nice. Flipping sweet. Waft of jet fuel exhaust. Wind is blowing it in my direction. Indeed, Sven, butter smooth, top-notch landing there. The icing on the cake, the application of the reversers. Thought that the moment had passed and that it wasn't going to use them anymore, but spoilers have been lowered already, waiting for the flaps to retract. Now in the meantime, Orange Pride is flying base. We have 3 airplanes preceding it. Or 2 now, including the one that just landed, which is one of Transavia's A321neos. Queen's flaps have been retracted in the meantime. Third airplane to arrive at Polderbound now is the KLM Orange Pride. 2 narrow bodies preceding it. Embraer 190 arriving from Southend. Interesting, is that the second or the third one that we have seen in the stream already? Don't recall them flying so often between those destinations. Maybe that's just me. KLM flight 984 is what we are now looking at, arriving from Southend, Embraer 190, 42 minutes of flight time, 6 years old, first flight February 2018. The number 2 is a KLM 737 arriving from Barcelona, in the top left visible already. Third airplane is the Orange Pride, arriving from Sao Paulo, which I'm not sure if we can see already. Oh wait, yeah, just a little bit. I think I thought I saw it. No matter, we'll see it soon enough. Means 3 more airplanes to land on Polderbound for today's show. Adrian is informing us about thunderstorm, a thunder shower I should say, moving in the northwest direction in the vicinity of Urk and Dronten, so that is to the north. So I wouldn't be surprised if what we are now looking at is the south side of a thunderstorm complex. Alrighty. Orange Pride now visible in the top left third. And in the far right we have KLM flight 1512, which is arriving from Barcelona. 737-800, 1 hour 47 minutes underway. The PHBCA 13-year-old airplane, first flight November 2010. Saudia is landing parallel on the center runway. Yep. Right. Last airplane of today's show. KLM Orange Pride arriving from Sao Paulo. The PHBVA. We saw it yesterday. We're seeing it again today. 777-300 10 hours and 46 minutes on the way. The PHBVA, 16 years old, first flight January 2008. It's going to be the last landing of today's show. I'm going to go ahead and say a big thank you to everyone who has joined me here today already. Had a wonderful show here today. I hope you guys enjoyed it as much as I have. If you liked the show, but you haven't already, don't forget to drop a like and subscribe if you haven't already, to stay informed of upcoming live streams. Next upcoming live stream will hopefully be on Sunday. Other obligations tomorrow. Big thank you to everybody for the support, the likes, the super stickers, the super chats, becoming a member, gifted memberships, PayPal donations, merch store purchases, the works. This channel is nothing without you guys. Thank you so much for your support. And also, moderators, once again, thank you for making a nice and comfy, welcoming chat. PHBVA Orange Pride. Today flying in from Sao Paulo, 10 hours, 47 minutes. Right, that was it for today's show. Enjoy the rest of your day. Hope to see you soon. Bye for now.